I told Luke we wouldn't spend a lot of time on this because I didn't want to upset him because, he had applied, I think, for the Tennessee Titans. He wanted to be a cheerleader. And so I didn't want to.
Too bad.
I'm just saying what I've heard. So I don't want, be careful here. There's sensitive ears listening. But I think 12 NFL teams are going to have male cheerleaders. 12 NFL teams. The Minnesota Vikings announced 2 male cheerleaders. That video's been going everywhere. I think we got a clip or some video that goes along with this. The Baltimore, did we get something this morning where like 19 of the Baltimore Ravens cheer squad, dance squad, whatever, are going to be men? What is the NFL trying to do here? What's the point of DEI in cheerleading? Heavy on the D at this point. What are they doing here? Steve?
Tex Schramm is rolling over in his grave. But I want to point this out, though. There are certain teams, I saw this with the Rams when I had season tickets in the early 90s. They were at Anaheim Stadium. There was the regular Ram cheerleaders that wore like the regular, skimpy suits, kind of looked like they were doing gymnastics. And there's also like a cheer squad, which they were much more innocent, right? And those groups had the big muscular guys because someone had to lift the girls and, had to catch them as they're doing the flips. So when people say, well, there's been male cheerleaders for years, yeah, if you go by that definition, yes. But they were also, no matter what we thought of them, they were not acting or dressed like they were feminine. Like you could tell those guys were in good shape. They probably did gymnastics. They knew how to handle the girls and do all the maneuvers, but they weren't doing that. See, I think that's the difference. To say that males have never been involved in cheerleading, that's simply not true. I think that's where when you're acting very feminine and sexualizing it, I think that's the issue that certain people are having, guys.
TJ? Certain people, you're talking about me. Yes, I'm one of those people.
Yeah, okay? TJ, you.
Yeah. Look, I this is very flamboyant. It's very gay. It's openly, obviously, both of those things. There's no argument against that. Anybody who has a pair of eyes would tell you that. It's an extension, the logical extension of, the first openly trans cheerleader with Carolina that happened a few years ago. So they've already been going down this path. Like, how do you keep men out of it if you basically if you actually literally already letting men in? And so I said this to you off air probably 2 months ago, Whitlock. We will know woke is dead when the NFL finally caves, because they are the only league that hasn't caved. Even the NBA to some degree, I think, has caved. Like, they're just not doing a lot of the nonsense. They couldn't go all the way in the way the NFL did in the first place. But I think the NFL is still woke, and they can be, because they're sort of they've got their shield, and they're impenetrable, and everybody, it's the only way you can get real live eyeballs on television right now. And so I do think they will crack. I think we've moved so far away of it that we were. I think Donald Trump is succeeding at such a high level right now. I think I was reading Cernovich tweeted this yesterday, and I totally agree. If the election were held today, Trump would win by a wider margin than he won in November. I think he's doing better than people even expected and faster. I think America is getting less woke. The NFL hasn't cracked yet, and we will know that woke is dead when the NFL cracks. They're just not there.
It's the NFL. I have low expectations for. It bothers me that they're going along with this. All this is a softer, more effective, child-friendly drag show. That's all this is. It's more effective. The NFL, you got 70,000 people in a stadium. Maybe only 20, 30,000 of them have a good eyesight on the cheerleaders, but who knows? It's a big crowd. You take your kids, and your 8-year-old son says, "Daddy, who's this Jim guy, and why is he dressed like a girl? What's going on here? Why is he there?" It just sparks conversations and puts thoughts in kids' heads, because the cheerleaders, for the most part, for the mature adult man and even the women. They don't even pay attention. It's the kids that get, they got ADD of some sort that are looking around and they're everything, and they got questions about everything. And so they get to see young men masquerading as women on the sidelines of the most popular pop culture event we have going. And at some point, I would imagine these TV cameras are going to cut to the female cheerleaders as they go to commercial break. And you'll be sitting at home and your son, daughter, or whatever. And so it's just all a normalization of this is what men do. They cosplay as women at sporting events and people got upset with me about this red dress charity event in New Orleans. I don't know if anybody saw this. A bunch of men, black and white, they dress up in red dresses for some sort of charity event. And everyone's just like, well, they're doing it for a charity event, as if that justifies it. Yes. I can write a check to a charity event. I ain't gotta put a red dress on. I gave to preborn yesterday. I didn't need a red dress to do that. I needed a laptop. And so this whole little thing they've come up with in New Orleans, like, hey, we're gonna raise money by men cosplaying as women. Man, they're clever, man. Michael Porter being pretty transparent here about the potential impact of gambling. Let's play that clip.
The sports gambling stuff can affect that a lot.
100%.
Think about it.
There you go.
You get mad at these dudes that do the sports betting, but think about if you could get all your homies rich by telling them, yo,
no shit,
bet $10,000 on my under, this one game I'm gonna act like I got an injury and I'm gonna sit out. I'm gonna come out after 3 minutes, and they all get a little bag because you did it one game. Like, that is so not okay. But some people probably think like that. They come from nothing, and 100%. All their homies have nothing,
100%.
And they're like, bro, if I come out of this game after 3 minutes and y'all all hit on my under, we're all getting a little bag.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I obviously my brother went through his situation. Malik Beasley's going through a situation right now. Terry Rozier was in some hot water. But the whole sports gambling entity, bro, it's bad, and it's only gonna get worse, bro. Like we really do get death threats. Like if you and the thing is you can't.
Somebody doesn't hit a parlay.
Crazy part is you can't win anymore because if I do too good, I'm messing up the people that bet on the under. And if they bet on my over, like, you know what I'm saying? So you're messing up some people's money. If they bet on your under or over, you're messing up some people's.
And you know what's crazy? You think about this, it's only in probably 13 states right now.
Well, no, I've never. Have you ever you've obviously gotten DM before, like, oh, you fucked my parlay.
Bro, what? Do you remember who was the dude in the football playoffs that missed the catch in the end zone?
Yeah.
What was his name? He played on the
was it this past year?
Yeah, the past year, and he missed the catch. You know what I'm talking about? It was he had that catch right in the end zone. He's like one of the best tight ends.
Andrews.
His social media, think about how much money that's real death threats. They were like, bro, don't come back.
Yeah, I actually had action on him that game.
That's the elephant in the room that no one's talking about, and Michael Porter Jr. is. I find that fascinating.
After that clip, I want to get on one of Michael Porter's group chats. I don't know if he's the most honest or reckless guy, because you got to stay in kayfabe, but we've talked about this, Jason. As an athlete, I think you should stay away from anything related to gambling during your playing career, specifically sports. I wouldn't even play a March Madness pool as a pro athlete. And there's no upside. You might win some money, but the only things that could happen are basically bad. And what Porter talked about, the individual props. I'm not gonna lie to you, when you say stuff like that, given who your brother is, I guarantee there's someone out there investigating every single prop bet related to Porter, that one right there, and just looking at it and investigating. But I give him credit. We may not like hearing it, Jason, but he wasn't wrong.
Where people need to look, and I've said this before, but I'm just taking this opportunity to reiterate it again. Look at the WNBA, man. There's players in there making $70,000 a year. They're wearing shirts to saying, hey, we're old, we're entitled. Yeah, this league doesn't generate any money, but damn it, we should be getting paid millions of dollars. So you have an entitled mindset that feels like they're being exploited by the patriarchy and this misogynistic culture, and then you have something as easy as, man, I can just fudge an over-under and make an extra 5, 10 grand because I believe, hey, $75,000 a year, I should be living like these NBA players. And so if I can hustle on the side and make 5, 10, 15, 20,000, so I can buy a gold chain, I can do all that. I just think this gambling thing, we've opened a bottle of toothpaste that is I just think there's a lot of corruption.
No doubt, it's a Pandora's box, but let's be fair. When a WNBA player is missing a lot of shots, looking bad, laying brick after brick, how could you really tell if it's on purpose or not, though? I mean, we couldn't tell. That's just kind of what they do when they're trying. Just want to throw that out there.
And that's why that is probably the most corrupt league going, and let alone the men's game. But the men are making millions of dollars. But as we see, as it relates to Malik Beasley, they make millions of dollars, but they blow it. They got baby mamas everywhere. They got, family, and just not understanding. Young people aren't supposed to have millions of dollars. They're just not. If I had millions of dollars when I was 23, 24 years old, I'd be dead right now, or in jail, because I would have been an idiot and been. Anyway, help us grow the Fearless Army. Pound that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with all your fearless friends.